Hello and welcome to Mythical Meeples. Today I'll be unboxing the Age of Darkness box set for the Horus Heresy. If you're looking to get your hands on this box set, then click on the link to Element Games in the description below. It will drop a cookie in your browser that lets them know you've come from me, and I'll get a 5% kickback, and you'll also get a discount off buying this and any other Games Workshop products. On with the unboxing. So the Age of Darkness box set contains enough miniatures to create either 2 small armies or 1 large army. So you get 2 Legion Praetors, 40 Tactical Marines, 10 Cataphractii Terminators, 1 Contemptor Dreadnought, and 1 Spartan Assault Tank. You also get a rulebook, 2 reference sheets, 20 6-sided dice, and 1 scattered dice, as well as templates, measuring sticks, and a transfer sheet. You can see on the back here the Marines have either been painted as Sons of Horus or Imperial Fists. So inside the box you can already see it's crammed full. You've got 2 measuring sticks here, got the templates here, and then you've got a load of sprues here. So I'm going to sort through the sprues first and then show them to you bit by bit. Before we look at the sprues, however, we're first going to take a look at the remainder of the box. So you can see here you've got this little poster. It shows you different things that you can add to your unit. So you've got the tactical squads with special weapons, Cataphractii Terminators, Tartarus Terminators. Then you've got the Traitors Heavy Assault Tank, Sakaran Battle Tank, and the Demon's Pattern Rhino. Also got a rulebook here, so you can see from the weight of it that's very thick rulebook, very heavy. You've got the instruction book here, which you can see has all the instructions for your models, and then at the bottom here you've got lots of bases. You've got your 6-sided dice, base for the Dreadnought, and then you've got the transfer sheet. So the transfer sheet only contains transfers for the Sons of Horus or the Imperial Fists, but you can pick up Legion specific ones separately if you wish to. So briefly going to look through the instructions. Here you can see the assembly guide for the Praetor. As you can tell, it's got a few different pieces, about 15, 16. Looking at this, maybe a few more sort of accessories should you depend on choosing whether you want to go heads. And likewise the Praetor with the axe has similar options or a similar amount of pieces to build. They're very straightforward. You attach the arms and the legs to the body, to the main torso, and then you start building up the arms and shoulder pads around that. Then you've got the tactical squads. So you've got the regular Marines, all fairly easy to build. You've got the torso and the legs. So you attach the back of the chest and the legs to the main body. Then you do the arms and the shoulder pads and the weapons and heads, followed by the backpack. So you've got a couple of options for the Vexilla or a Nuncio box. And then you've also got a couple of options for your sergeant as well. And then it just goes through the different poses of Marines here. Then you've got the Cataphractii Terminators. So these are similar to the Marines. You've got the legs which you build up, and then you build up the torsos which you can attach to the Marines, followed by the arms. So you've got choice of weapons, and then you've also got the Cataphractii Sergeant here. And then it just takes you through all of the different Terminator options. Next up, you've got the Contemptor Dreadnought. So looking at this, you can already see it's a lot more pieces than the regular Marines. Just building up the foot takes 4 different pieces. Here as well, you can see that sort of the different leg pieces, you have to join them all up and then build up the leg as you go, eventually reaching here. And then so on with the torso is next. And then you start building up the rest of the model. So building up the sort of main bulk of the model. And then after that, you start looking at all of the different weapons. So you've got a few different options to go with, such as autocannons, las cannons, bolt cannons, heavy flamers, melter guns, and so on. You've also got the option for a missile rack at the top of the model. Finally, you've got the Land Raider Spartan. Now this is the biggest model in the kit and has a lot of sprues to it. We'll be looking at those a bit later. And you can see, just looking at this, it's got lots of big pieces that you're going to have to assemble. You've got the insides as well. And then you've got the different weapons that you can build. And once you've built up the big parts, you've then got to attach all of the separate tracks. And then you've got your weapon options for pintle mounted weapons, such as havoc launchers, multi-melters, combi weapons, options for opened and closed clutches, commanders or gunner bodies, hull mounted options. So you can see you have got a lot of options on the back here. And then there's just a little section on the rules, which we won't go into too much. So we're going to start by looking at the tactical marines. As you can see, you've got 8 sprues for the regular marines here. And then you've also got 4 command upgrade sprues, so you can build up to 4 tactical squads should you wish to. So the marine sprues are all identical. So just going to have a look at this one first. You can see on the front here you've got lots of details. So you can see where the lines run in. And so these will hold a wash really, really well, especially if you can get it in the creases, not the creases, but the armor segments. You can see you've got head options here. So you've got a helmetless option, or you've got the beaky helmets. You've also got the bayonets for the front of the bolt guns. Got a few other different head options as well if you want some bare-headed models. Personally, I like having helmets on my model, so I'll be sticking to the beaks. You can just see how detailed these are. Sort of the backpacks and the joints between the armour. Really nice models. Let's try and have a look for some mould lines. So they're not very prominent at all. They are really hard to make out. They are just about there on the leg. You can probably see it here, but they're not very prominent at all. Let's have a look at the command sprue. So you can see here again, you've got more bayonets, different ones this time. You've got bolt pistols for all of your marines, grenade packs, and then you've got the options for the sergeants and the other upgrades in the unit. So you've got power sword, power fist or lightning claw, and you've got a couple of bare-headed options as well for your sergeant should you wish to use them. Again, it's going to be quite hard to see them because they're such small pieces. You can just about make out the mould line on the side of the pistol there, gun holster, but they're not very prominent once more. So I said you get 4 of these sprues, you get 8 of the tactical marines sprues, which have 5 models on each. Next we're going to look at the Terminators. So you can see here you've got lots of different weapon options for their hands. Lightning claws, power fists, chain fists, power fists. You've got a power sword for the sergeants. So you've got a lot of different options that you can go with. You've also got the combi bolters over here if you're building them with power fists. You can see you've got quite a few small parts over here, but you have got the bigger parts such as the body pieces and the legs as well. Got options for a heavy flamer. Really cool looking kit, and you've got all the sort of little shields, crests, so you can really personalize your army should you wish to. So let's have a look at some mold lines. Again, quite hard to make any out. It's because of the way they've made this kit. Probably best place is to try looking on the legs. You can't really. They are just about there, but again, they're slightly more prominent than the Tactical Marines, but they're still not that bad, so these should be really easy to clean up. You get 2 sprues of these in the box. Next, we're going to have a look at the 2 Praetors. So we're starting with the Praetor with Power X, which you can see here. You can just see how detailed these are. The cloak here, you've got the little sort of sun pattern on the back. You can see the backpack's already more ornate than the Tactical Marines. The armour down the bottom here, you've got all the studs on the legs. It's a really detailed model. So let's have a look for mould lines. So they're quite hard to make out because of the angle, but you can just about make them out on things like the backpack. So again, these should be really, really easy to clean up. The mould lines aren't very prominent at all, but they are there. Have a look at the other Praetor now. So this one has the power sword. You can see gun arm, power sword here. Got the cloak again, and you've got lots more detailing on these than you do on the regular Marines. Now you need to really customize and personalize them. So let's have a look for more mold lines. So you can make this one out a bit easier. It's good to get a good angle, easier to get a good angle, but they aren't that prominent on the model, so they should be quite easy to clean up again. Let's look at the Dreadnought next. So the Dreadnought is made up of T-sprues. As I mentioned in the instructions, you've got lots of different little pieces that you have to go through to build it up. So here you've got the majority of the weapons. You can see the melter, bolt gun, las cannons, auto cannons. Good amount of detailing on them. And these are the backs, so you're not going to see a lot of this side of your model. Now let's have a look for the mould lines. So these should be easy to spot if they're present. And you can just about make them out on the gun barrel here, but they're really, really faint. Just here. And again, you can see how detailed sort of all the individual pieces are. But there's also lots of places where you can add your own freehand or transfers if you wish to. giving you lots of options for personalisation. Again, the back's sort of a lot flatter because you're not going to see it. Let's try and find some mould lines again. But I imagine these will be, yeah, it's hard to tell if that's where the mould lines would be. If that's just the natural curve of the armour. There's a little bit of a mould line there. It's really hard to make them out on the sprue. So as I mentioned previously, the Spartan assault tank is the largest of the models, and as you can see, it's got a lot of sprues. So you've got 2 sprues like this, and you've got 4 larger sprues which make up the main bulk of the tank. So we're going to just look at those piece by piece. So you can see here, this is all the insides, and then you've got the outside, so you've got all the individual rivets. So there's a lot of flat work, but there's just a lot of detail where there needs to be. So you could, sort of like on the doors and things, add transfers, add battle damage. Got a lot of options there. You've also got some, looks like Sons of Horus symbols, and then you've got the Aquila, or the Imperial Eagle, and you've also got these extra accessories as well. It's been quite hard to spot mould lines on these, so not going to worry too much about looking at that on this sprue. Again, this is similar to the previous sprue in that it's big kit, big pieces mainly. So you can see these are the outsides of the sides. Got other pieces here. Got some of the tracks on here. Again, we're not going to look too much for mould lines because they're not going to be easy to spot. So this piece is mainly tracks, and just to give you a size comparison, so tracks, this is the Praetor next to it, so you can see the legs compared to the tracks. It's quite skinny. Like, tracks are quite big, and you will have a big centerpiece with the Spartan. So there's not much to show you on this sprue, and you can see a couple of weapons just on the bottom here, but it's just mostly the tracks. Again, last of the big sprues, not really much to see on these sprues. You can see the top of the tank, front door, sides of the tanks, base of the tank, and probably what's the insides of the tank. Mould lines don't seem too prominent. You can't really make any out looking through the camera or even in person, which is nice. So this should be quite easy to clean up, which is nice because it's probably going to take a long time to build. Finally, we're looking at the 2 smaller sprues. So you can see the guns here. These look like las cannons. You've got bolt guns, heavy bolt guns of some description, heavy bolters, sorry. And then you can see the sort of tips of the las cannons for the other side. Again, because it pushes together, you won't see a lot of this side here. And again, looking for mould lines. So they are really not that prominent. So yeah, cleaning this model up should be really, really easy. We're on to the final sprue now, which has the dozer blade, and you've got all the options for the pintle mounted weapons and the commander or gunner to come out of the top. So you've got a few different head options. You've got arms, you've got the various guns. Again, this is a lot like the previous sprues in that one side has all the detail and the other side is just the bits that you're not going to see on the model. So I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. If you did, please hit that like, comment and subscribe. It helps me grow and be seen by more people. Also, if you did want to pick up this box or other Games Workshop products for a discount, head over to Element Games. Again, if you use the link below, you'll get a discount on the majority of your Games Workshop products and paints and brushes and things that you need. And I get a 5% kickback. So it costs you nothing extra and actually saves you money because you'll be getting a discount. If you want to support me in other ways as well, you can become a member of Mythical Meeples or you can become a patron. Again, there'll be links below, but by doing either of those things, you'll gain access to extra content, sneak peeks and behind the scenes. So thank you again for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.